They scammed me 1.11 million renminbi out of my pocket in no time, my life savings. I fell trapped into a love scam out of loneliness. This cannot be possible. Seriously, they don't have any mercy no more. Listen to today's story, guys. A 70-year-old woman, like 70-year-old woman, please give me a break and have some mercy for elderly, some respect. Supposedly, Chinese are very respectful towards them. From Shenzhen, my favorite city in the world, surnamed Hao, fell victim to an online scam, romance scam. My holy God, she just wanted to have someone, like, I guess. Losing 1.11 million in just 1 month, like in 1 month. The scammer, who went by the name of James Wong, claimed to be a battlefield doctor working for the United Nations. All his story is just very similar to the ones that my followers in my Spanish channel will tell me about supposedly Chinese men loving them from overseas. And at the end of the day, they are not Chinese, or maybe they are. So many of them ended up being Africans scammers. Of course, with Chinese photographs. Hao, who lived alone, met Wang on a social media platform in October 2024. She was so lonely, guys. She went in this online platform to meet someone. Just reminds me of someone I really love and is so very near me. I mean, she's not that lonely, but I wish she will find a partner. And in a month will be 70 years old. Can you guess who's that one? His impressive credentials, noble profession, and caring demeanor quickly won her trust. Like, give me a break. Which credentials if you don't find each other in real life? However, after gaining her confidence, like by how, just saying beautiful words, the scammer began fabricating financial difficulties. Great, so all his credentials are gone. Claiming he needed money for a plane ticket and a work-related exit permit. Yes, sure. Between October and November, Hao transferred money 8 times, totaling 1.11 million. Holy guacamole. Like, guys, a 70-year-old woman that has this kind of money, like to be transferring 1.11 million renminbi, which is like almost above. It's like more than 3 million peso, which once again, with this kind of money, you can get a luxury apartment here in the city of Guadalajara, at least a loft, because now prices here are quite expensive, But anyhow, that's enough money to get a property, like a nice property around Mexico. Maybe not in the USA, of course, or elsewhere, but here in Mexico, it's totally possible. So this one person just fell in love with this guy from like being somehow in a battlefield or something. Anyways, you can see how clear they are targeting elderly that already have some savings and that have free time to be chatting and that are lonely, and maybe they will make them promises about how they will be the one fulfilling their lives because they feel so empty and lonely. And that's just, I mean, I get a lot of stories from my followers that are 20 or 30, and it's like, okay, you are quite silly girl. But as 70-year-old, it's somehow sad because that one woman was feeling so empty. She saw this chance as an exit for her loneliness. According to the police, the scammer frequently shared photos and stories about his supposed life as a battlefield doctor. Seriously, just like those stories, Those pictures are not their pictures. Those pictures are pictures taken from others, like it's just internet pictures. Or sometimes even purchased pictures, as I have previously stated in a past video. Reinforcing his credibility, sure. Exploiting Hao's loneliness, he claimed to have a young daughter, deepening her emotional attachment. After earning her trust, he requested financial assistance, citing various fabricated reasons. First, he needed money to purchase a leave permit from his organization. Then he lacked funds for a plane ticket home. Finally, he claimed he had to pay 70,000 fee to the United Nations to secure his return. I mean, this woman, you know what I see in many stories? Because I had this woman that was scammed by a supposedly Chinese doctor or surgeon or some whatever profession. And this woman was a Dominican Republic woman living in New York City. So she was scammed for 5,000 USD, which is not as much as this. Still, those girls living in the USA being able to just give away 5,000 USD to someone that you just met online, that you believe their credentials or you believe their status or you fall in love with or out of loneliness, whatever the reasons are, you are just able to afford yourself to give that away, that kind of money, just like in this case or just in that one case of the Dominican giving away 5,000. You have to have some brains in order to get that kind of money, you know? Like a lot of people are not getting those sums of money. Like we just don't have 1 million in our pockets, 1 million renminbi just available there in order to just spend it that freely with anyone anyone that we haven't met. I mean, that's just not even a luxury. That's just like a nonsense. Like that's just a no-brainer for me. But of course, for them, it was somehow acceptable because they saw a dream. They saw an exit of their singlehood. And wow, I'm just very surprised that they have enough brain to get the money, but they don't have enough brain to keep it or to not just give it away to whoever, in these cases, like scammers, you know, like girls nowadays are, I see this coming more and more because more and more women are getting more empowered and more like successful on any career in any walks of life. So they will have more power, more money, more status, more financial independency, or how to call it, like financial freedom. And overall, they will have more money, but they will have more loneliness at the same time because you are busy working, they are busy working. Myself, I was also maybe at some point of my life, I was busy working, therefore I didn't date it. I was not interested in like guys at that time. And time passed, right? But it's never late, right? Right. Anyways, so, yeah. As I was stating, guys, I'm just gonna say something seriously. So, I feel that nowadays I look better than 10 years ago. Just for the record, because some of you, not you guys, that followers, but like some guys, especially in my Spanish channel, the Latinos that are really not giving, anyways, those are commenting like, oh, you are quite inspired, your age is gone, etc. Of course, some of the English-speaking followers do also write this kind of comments. But when I see my pictures in the past and when I see them now, I feel like I'm looking better than what I used to look 10 years ago. And if you do not believe me, you can just watch my 10 years ago videos because this channel is that old, you know, or even older. Anyways, as I was previously saying, how on earth these girls get to have the luxury or get to have the privilege to have the money, but do not get the privilege to think clearly about their decisions and just like give away money that easily. Believing she was helping a man she deeply cared for, how drained her savings and even borrowed from relatives to send him money. This is way too dramatic. Like that just crossed the whole line. I thought it was pure her own savings, you know. She only realized that she had been deceived when a bank employee warned her while she attended another transfer in late December. She immediately reported the fraud to the police. Shenzhen Railway Police took swift action upon receiving how reports. Officers froze 430,000 of the transfer funds and launched an investigation. They discovered that the scammer used multiple bank accounts from different regions to quickly disperse the stolen money. I would like to know if these regions were inside China or outside China, or like, I guess outside, because he was supposedly on a battlefield and he needed to come back home. So, you know. Through in-depth analysis, authorities identify key individuals involved in the operations. 4 suspects have since been arrested. 1 suspect admitted to knowingly providing his bank account for money transfer in exchange for financial rewards. He has been charged with assisting fraud and is now under criminal detention. I just feel, I mean, that's it. That's pretty much the summary of this case, but this is just one case of many, I'm sure. I myself have read a lot of stories in my Spanish channel that my followers send to me. They send me these kind of stories on an everyday basis, but we stop reading them because they get quite boring and annoying. Like, whenever, like, okay, so I met this Chinese and he was so nice, and he was always like, good morning, darling, good evening, have you eaten? Drink hot water, you must take care of yourself. He's just like no other man I've met. He cares for me so much. And then it goes like, so he's needing this and that. And since, I mean, they are very wise, you know, they will target just a specific powerful woman. They will, like, I mean, they match it on an app, like a matching app, so it's totally obvious that he saw her profile, and somehow he was able to see that she was quite a target for his purpose, right? Just like these other girls, Latin girls, that were targeted through Instagram, most of them, or Facebook match. Also, these scammers saw somehow they had this kind of lifestyle, especially if you are that kind of girl just posting around, you know, about your luxurious and privileged lifestyle, luxury bags, going to places, having these meals in these expensive restaurants, going abroad and all that jazz. You will be a very easy target for them, obvious target, because they will see, okay, this girl has a bank, so we will just go after her, make her feel loved and cared for, and after we will just pretend like we are so in need of whatever, and because she has the means, she will just be accepting our request. This is how it kept on like going, you know. As I was saying, guys, I received this kind of like stories on an everyday basis, but I stopped those girls from sharing them with me. Each time I receive them, I will be like, sorry girl, we do not tell these kind of stories no more in the channel, because they are just repetitive and very monotonous, to the point of being boring. Because it'll be like, okay, so I met this one guy that started texting me on Instagram. He sent his pictures that he was working in whatever area. He was a surgeon, he was a what. They're always very high end up profiles of like these professions that supposedly earn that much tons of money, but at the end of the day they are in need of it, right? So they will be just kind of seducing them virtually, texting them every day, like good morning, sending a picture of the morning coffee, like going on walks and being like, I miss you, I love you. And they will just fabricate these stories for them to believe like, whenever we get to meet each other, we will go to this place, we will get married, we will have children. And these girls are like, whoa, my God, I just find the guy, you know. So these girls, I mean, it just gets very repetitive in a way that I didn't want to keep on telling the stories in the channel, because it's always the same. Whenever that one woman will not get to meet the guy in person, will not get to be at least 1 meter distance, or will get to touch him, or like, you know, real interaction, it just gets like so boring, since it's just virtual interaction. Like, he texted me and I texted him, and then the next day we text. It's just about texting. So I'm reading a story basically based on pure texting. Whatever picture that he sent, whatever text that she sent, whatever is that he didn't reply, and so it's just pure nonsense. So I stopped telling those stories, and I was like, okay, I will have a filter from now on. We will just be telling real life stories, like stories that happen in real time, like in reality, like you got to see the guy, You went into dates with him, although even though he robbed you or not, that's not the point, but at least you got to interact with him. And so I still receive such stories because the scammers are still out there, not just in China, but everywhere around the world. Even to the point of I have been receiving some comments in my previous videos that some of you guys also had this situation and you also fell down in the beautiful voice of a Chinese woman, or not a voice, but just pictures, yeah? So you imagine that feminine woman in a very slender body and telling you, baby, I love you, I miss you, honey, how are you? But at the end of the day, it was not even a girl, It might be just a man behind the screen. And she will be also asking for money. So it's not just about men scamming women, but there are so many women, or at least profiles created by them, whoever they are. Some of them, as I've told you, even in the news of China, they have been appearing that they are real scammers just working in an office in China, or my followers also have been like revealing some of them are Africans. So since they know that this like yellow fiber it's trending, they will just pretend they are Chinese and they will purchase pictures or get to steal pictures from the internet. And they will scam girls and boys, women and men. And once again, I believe this scam will be like happening more and more because more and more women are suitable. The word is very cruel, but it's suitable to get scammed. Since you have the money, you have the everything in life, you have the lifestyle, but you lack of that one person to make your life just feel fulfilled. So that one person arrives to your life, to your phone, and just keeps texting you, and then you are totally over him, and you are susceptible to just transfer whatever is that they ask for. So I do believe this scam will, like, even scamming women will be a better business than scamming men. Because scamming men, I mean, let's be honest, men have a better protection because of all the life, like, how to say, scamming men, even virtually or in real life, it's not new. So many of you guys are just very cautious about whatever is that a woman is asking from you, no matter in real life or virtually. You'll be like, you just want my money, or that's weird, or you just want money, this and that. So for women, it's just a new thing, to be alone, to be older, to be unable to meet someone, and just have to pay for that one someone to get the chance to see you, to meet you, because he is somehow, in a difficult situation and he needs your help. And because you are the empowered woman, of course you're going to provide that help because you are used to work for things in life, to achieve things. So therefore you believe, once again, you're going to be the savior of this man. This is just very, very psychologically, it just matches the perfect example of a victim, that those women that are powerful, successful, achievers, goal-oriented, and they will work towards a goal. So they are used to putting effort, sacrificing time and money to get stuff. So for them, it's even easier, to agree on giving away money compared to a woman that we want to receive in life because, we are the woman. So I'll prefer a gent will come over and be like, don't worry, I'll take it and I'll help you. I'll solve it and all that jazz. That's my kind of gent. Anyways, it's just a perfect kind of business for these ones operating in this scammy system to be targeting these specific individuals that are lacking affection, are somehow lonely, because although they arrive to a certain place in their lives, they still lack of this someone texting them day and night, good morning text, good evening, fabricating them a fantasy on how great their life will be when they are together. And these individuals will like, okay, I have all, so why not just invest or just, bet on this one chance, because it's my only one after all these years that I've been alone, or after all this time that I have been busy and haven't had the time to date anyone. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it. Why not? I'm just gonna help someone that is in need of help, because I'm a powerful woman. I'm an independent woman. I have money. I can pay for him and save him. Like, give me a coffee break. And by the way, I wanted to thank a very nice follower of mine. I guess he's my follower, a subscriber. His name is Vladimir. I'm not sure where is he from. I thought maybe he's from Russia, but maybe he's not from there, maybe from somewhere else around the USSR. However, he just sent me 3 coffees this morning when I opened my email, and it was like, Vladimir bought you 3 coffees. And he texted me like, whenever I'm watching your videos, I smile. And I'm like, I was very happy, because this specific morning I was dealing with somehow the stress of making my China visa, because hopefully I'm gonna be arriving to China very soon, hopefully, guys. And somehow it was a little bit stressful because they need a lot of information in the papers, as well as a lot of I wanted to make the invitation letter from the Canton Fair, and somehow I was not able to do it like very smoothly, and I got stressed, which doesn't happen very often. I will not get mad or but today I did. And then I opened the email, and I got to see his message, the message that he input in the Buy Me a Coffee, and I was like, it just made my morning, especially today is Friday, so that's a very nice way to end up the week. And also, somehow I felt like my videos were helpful in a way to make him smile all across the country, me here being in Mexico, and him or you guys being wherever it is that you are, and having somehow maybe an entertaining time or a educational time, understanding more about the Chinese culture or whatever it is that the whole country is dealing with these like daily pieces of news, specifically targeted with the subjects of like relationships. So thank you very much. So if you speak Russian, I will say thank you in Russian. Спасибо большое, Vladimir. Thank you very much. By the way, when I was in university, I used to really, really like this one guy. Maybe that's for another video. But anyways, I used to really, really like this one guy that his name was Pasha. And I just had a crush on him, but sad story, he didn't have on me. Anyways, it was not reciprocal. Anyhow, I really liked that one Pasha that was coming from Russia. I mean, in any case that you, Vladimir, are also coming from there. If not, just forgive me. I'm not sure where are you from. However, maybe I can check that on Buy Me a Coffee. I'm not sure. Thanks for the coffee. And you guys, this is your shout out for you all watching, that somehow if you are, enjoying my content and want to support me, give a click down below in the Buy Me a Coffee button and buy me a few coffees, because I'm worth it. Anyways, back to the story. Today's video is gonna be, it's a Friday night, so yeah. So I was this one girl living in the 5th floor in a dorm, and I really liked this one other guy that his name was Pasha. He was blonde with blue eyes, and he was tall, and I liked him, but we couldn't understand each other because he didn't speak English and I didn't speak Russian. So I was just looking at him every morning. Whenever it was time to go to the class, I'll go out of my balcony and I will look at his bike. Was always parked down I could see from my window, and I will just see him how he will take his bike, and I'm like, oh my god, there goes Pash. I was so in love with him. Not in love, I was just like, and I was like just really trying to get like bump into him anytime that I could, but he was just very cold. Like, Russian guys are just cold. I mean, this is for another video, but and he was just cold, and I mean, guys, I'm 37. At that time I was like maybe 27. No, yeah, maybe less than that, or around that, because I graduated when I was 27. So let's say I was 26. So I was 26, so 10 years younger of me now. You can see how bumpy and spicy I was. Like, hello, Fasha, like this and that, you know? And he was just very cold. And somehow I thought I could seduce him with my Mexican spiciness, but I couldn't. And it was a time at the third semester that we needed to choose a second language in order to graduate from uni. And there you had, like, you could choose Japanese, English, Russian, maybe Korean. I don't know. There were 4 languages to choose from. Anyways, you guess right. I chose Ruski Yazik. I was so determined to learn the language in order to understand that one guy. And not just that, previous to that, when I was in BLCU, oh my God, this is a big story. That is my biggest story and my biggest love affair. No, not affair, sorry. This was just a crush, because we didn't have any interaction. Like, we never held hand. I mean, he never invited me to a date. Can you see how he was losing? Like, whatever. He didn't like me. What else to do? Nonetheless, I decided to study Russian. I was number 1 in class. I was always above other average, of course, because I was always practicing. And I remember I used to practice this one phrase that my friends taught me. I had this one friend that named Dasha. Actually, she's here in the channel. One of the videos is one of the most popular channels. You can watch that one when we were in the dorm talking about Chinese boyfriends. So somehow the thematic goes at the end of the years end up being the same, right? Like relationships in China. However, I was naive. Don't judge me on that video. I think it's a very bad video and maybe not that respectful. Anyhow, she will teach me everything about like Russian language. So I will be like, whenever I bump it onto him, I will like, I remember this phrase very clearly, you know, because I used to like his eyes. So I'll be like, oh, I'll say like, I'm really happy to see you and see your beautiful eyes. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like this. Я очень рада видеть тебя, потому что я очень нравится something like that. Guys, it's been 10 years. Give me a break if I'm wrong, because I didn't practice it no more. But I'm sure if I could get back to that, I'll be a pro, because somehow I believe I'm quite talented for languages, because I like to speak, you know. You have seen my improvement. A few months ago, my English was like, I haven't spoken English in the past 4 years since I left China, previous to COVID, but nowadays I'm like, okay. So yeah, I was just very like an excellent student in Russian, and I really enjoyed the subject. But the pity, or the bad side of the story, was that it was just given for a semester, so you couldn't learn that much, and there was not a following course after that. So I just couldn't keep studying since the university didn't provide the education for that. So I just find it very silly. Why would we have to try to study hard a language for just 6 months, and after that there will be no continuation of it? However, I really enjoyed the language, although it's a little bit cold and hard, and I have my own reasons, and now you know why. And also, previous to that, that story, I'm just gonna leave it for another day. That story is the story of my life, and I guess that was the biggest reason of why is that I studied that Russian language, apart from that one guy that I liked it, and it didn't end up happening. But at the end of the day, I thought he was not very my type, you know. Like, now that I see him, like, give me a break, Mark. How could you even like that kind of person? He's not like the man you will like, you know. But at that time, 10 years ago, he was the boy that I liked. I'm sure that now I can see that he was not for me, and therefore life just didn't, you know, Anyways, that is the story of that is the double story of. Someone is calling me. I guess, who will he be? Anyways, thank you very much, everyone, for watching this, as well as if you are enjoying my content, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and buy me a few coffees down in the link below. Kisses to the world, and until the next video. My eyes are a little bit red because of this ring light. I prefer to do it on like natural light, you know. I prefer everything natural.